recent interviews that me and Emma have been doing for Love is Blind, people keep asking us, you know, what is the secret to a successful relationship? And I really don't think I'm qualified to answer those questions. You know, I kind of like think to myself really quickly about something I can say, oh, honesty is really important, or, you know, tolerance or something, you know, but I really kind of gave it a real thought. You know, I really sat down and thought about it for a couple of hours this week, and I wrote some stuff. You know, so I'm gonna read it out. You know, I'm gonna talk to you guys as well whilst I read it out, because I probably embarrass myself about what I've written. But I've written some stuff down, so I apologise if this is a bit soppy. I'm trying not to be as soppy as I can be, but I apologise in advance if this is a bit throw up in your mouth. But here we go. Right, first subject. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. You know, we've all heard that, but I think in relationships that's really, really true. You know, it's not always easy, you know, but you really don't get good. You really don't get, let me start again. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger. You know, we've all heard that term, and I think this really rings true in relationships. You know, relationships are not always easy, but you really don't get the good without the tough stuff. And the hard times, the tough times really help you grow and become better in a relationship. You know, I think the thing that I've learned is the person you fall in love with will not remain the same. And that's scary to say out loud, right? Because we're like, what do you mean by that? But I mean, the person I fell in love with and the person Emma fell in love with, we're not the same people now. You know, we are, I suppose, partly the same person, but we've been together 20 years now. So we have grown, we've changed, we've evolved. You know, we're still the same essence of the same person we were when we met, but thank God I have changed quite a lot in those 20 years, you know, so I think that's okay. You know, we will change, we will grow, hopefully for the better, but it will change. You always hear that you really can never change someone, but I think someone can change themselves. And that will sometimes be a big adjustment in a relationship. And you can fall in love over and over again with that person. That's what is so great about change, I think. It's not terrifying. It's like you get to find new aspects of each other's personality as they emerge, which is exciting. You know, I find new things out about Emma all the time. She finds new weird quirks about me, you know, and I still love them all. You know, it's like nothing really is going to come out of the woodwork that's going to make me go, oh, we have very different values on that. You know, we do have disagreements about things. We do think about things differently, but that's what makes people interesting. Another thing I hear is that relationships are 50-50. I don't think that's true. You know, sometimes one of you has 20% and it's the other person's time to pick up the 80% for a while, you know, until the other person has 50, or the other person has 80 and you have 20. And sometimes you both have 20, you know, and that's when you have to really work through something, you know, but that's relationships, I think. You know, we can't always be superheroes. We have to understand that we're going to go through patches where we're going to be struggling. You know, we're going to go through times when things are going to, you know, get to us, you know, and it always surprises me how we come out of those times. You know, like hard times, they don't have to break you. You know, they can make you stronger. You know, I think we always think of failure as this, you know, oh my God, I failed, you know, but from everything I've failed at, I've learned something massive, you know, and when every time I've failed in my relationship, like I've failed her, you know, or I've failed my family, I've learned from that and I try to be better from it. You know, luckily those don't happen as much anymore because I don't have drink and drugs in my life anymore. And I think that's been a massive turning point for me, you know, and I mean, obviously it's completely changed my life and my relationships massively. But I think, you know, when we're dealing with addiction, I don't think we can truly love another person or ourselves when we are in active addiction because we have so much focus and attention going on to that. You know, it rules our life, it runs everything, you know, and I think once we can remove that, and we can remove that, you know, I see it all the time. You know, I know I'm proof of that. You know, there was times in my life when I couldn't get a grip on it. I could not ever see not drinking and using. And now I don't think about drinking and using ever. You know, the thought never enters my head, that I think a drink would be a good idea. That just does not enter my head now. So we can, as long as we put the practice in, we can, be in recovery, and I think that's really massive. Right. Second subject. Second subject is honesty. I've talked about this a few times in this podcast. I think I try to live, this is through a 12-step program. I try to live a very honest life. Like, for instance, I was recently playing golf with a mate of mine, and he's in recovery, and I was vaping on the golf course. And he was like, does your wife know you do that? And I was like, no. I only do it when I'm at golf, and I do it when I'm with the band. So, I don't do it at home or around my family or anything. He's like, so you lie about it? I was like, well, no, I don't lie about it. I just don't talk about it. And he was like, so you're holding something from people. You're keeping a secret. And I was like, yes, I am. And I knew I was doing it. I bloody well knew it. I was hiding it. I was being deceiving. And bloody hell, I love it. God, that little thing, it became like, it's so ridiculous, man. It's a little piece of plastic, and it became like an adult dummy to me. I couldn't take the thing out of my mouth. I have these nicotine pouches, which I'm obsessed with, right? Which are these little things, and they're in a little box, and their little kind of pouch has got some nicotine in it, which I've heard isn't as bad for you as smoking or vaping. I'm sure it's going to kill me in some other way, but I forgot them when I picked up a box and I went to rehearsal, and with the band, and I only had one in the box, and I was freaking out because I was like, oh my God, I've got no nicotine. Oh my God, I've got no nicotine because I'm a fucking addict. And there was a vape on the side because we have other people within our crew and band who vape. And I was like, oh, I'll just use that today. And before I knew it, I was doing 3 to 4 a day of these disposable vapes, just like bomb, 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 bomb. I was even doing it on stage. I was walking to the back of the stage and vaping, thinking no one could see me. I've got 20,000 people in the audience, and I'm secretly vaping at the back, thinking no one can see me. It's complete addict behaviour. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and go for a wee and vape in the toilet in my hotel room on my own, and then try and go back to sleep. What an absolute crazy thing to do, and so it all kind of dawned on me what I was doing when he called me out for it. And that's why having friends in recovery is so good, because they don't stand for your bullshit. They're like, oi, what's that? And I do that to other people. And I think that's important, because otherwise we can become, tricked by our own little addict brain. And look, when it comes down to it, compared to doing Class A drugs every day, vaping ain't that bad. But I don't want to do it, and I was doing it, and I didn't want to tell people about it. So it wasn't good, so I had to address that. And I had to tell Emma, and I was like, oh, babe, I've been addicted to this bloody vape. I'm sorry, I'm going to put it down. I'm never going to vape again. And she knew, of course she knew. She was like, babe, I find them in the wash, And I was like, oh, and she had brought it up to me once before, but I was like, oh, I just do it a little bit on tour, like when I didn't have my nicotine pouch. So I'm just lying, So I think that was another little bang on the head about honesty, and I owned up to it, and I haven't vaped now for a couple of months, 2 months, something like that, and I do miss it. It's delicious. God damn it. Everything I love kills me, apart from the people I love, so honesty is a really important thing. Right. I think that honesty is the cornerstone of a good relationship, if I'm honest. It's like you build a relationship to a point where you're not scared to be honest with each other, which is huge, right? Because, I think in the early days of a relationship, you can be scared to kind of show your true self. But I think you become honest within a relationship, and the relationship gets to a point where you feel free to be completely authentic with them. Even in disagreements, right? You both know you love each other, right? So arguments don't become slagging matches. They are more of an opportunity to explore the other's opinion as you want to understand them more. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, we don't have arguments because we're like, well, like, that doesn't happen anymore. We're like, whoa, what's that about? I feel like this and you feel like that. That's weird. Let's try and rectify this, because I want to hear you. I want to understand you, and I want you to hear and understand me, which is a very different conversation to what we used to have. Look, this isn't always easy, right? Because people are different, and that's what makes them interesting. Me and Emma disagree about things, but I want to resolve issues rather than always be right. I think there's a story out there that goes that relationships should be perfect, but nothing really is. Nothing's really perfect. Life is struggle, but you can grow together. Relationships are tough sometimes. It gets less so. Even if your connection is really strong, you still have to kind of learn how to love someone. And that is easier when you're not hating yourself.